As you can see, today is one of those gray, rainy days that tells me that autumn has arrived. So that put me in the mood for stew. Beef stew. And this is how I do it. Alright, first of all, let's start out with my main ingredients. Today I'm going to use a combination of chuck steak along with some beef back ribs because I want a little extra fat and a little bit of bone for the flavor. I'm going to use mushrooms, the squash that we got from our CSA, our Community Supported Agriculture, some potatoes also from the CSA, turnips just because I don't know what else to do with the turnips, celery and carrots just for the basic flavor, and then as well onions and garlic. Now I'm just going to prep everything and I'll put it all together and it'll be like that. So I prepped all my ingredients. So before I start cooking everything, what I'm going to do is season the beef a little bit. Basically just a little salt and pepper, and then what I'm going to do with those cubes is coat them in flour. The reason why I'm coating it with flour is because when I brown the meat, it kind of acts as a browning agent. It adds a little bit of flavor. And then later on, when all the liquid comes out from the vegetables cooking with the stew, the flour will thicken the sauce to make it a little more gravy-like. Alright, so now's the cooking part. I'm going to let this heat up a little bit, then I'll add the oil, and then we're going to start browning this beef. Browning really nicely. It smells really good too. The next step is to add onions and garlic. You can see the flour kind of coating the bottom of the pot, and what's going to happen is when I add wine and liquid to it, it's going to deglaze that and it's going to just make the flavor of the sauce that much better. I'm going to add the garlic now. Carrots and celery. I'm going to cover the pot, let the carrots and the celery cook down a little bit, and then I'll add the rest of the vegetables. Alright, I'm going to put in the rest of the vegetables because it's looking really good. It smells awesome. Going to cover that, let that cook down for about 10 minutes, and then I'll add the potatoes, add a bit of wine, and then we'll put everything in the oven. A lot of the liquid from the vegetables has come out, so it's definitely looking a little soupier. Hopefully the flour will thicken it up a little bit, but I'm going to add potatoes now because that will definitely thicken it up and it'll add a little bit more substance. Okay, I'm going to let this kind of boil, cook off for about 10 more minutes with the lid off. See if some of the moisture or some of the liquid will cook off. And then I'm going to add a bunch of wine and pop it in the oven. Once I'm ready to put everything in the oven, it'll be preheated. I didn't anticipate this amount of liquid coming out of the vegetables, but you know, it's been cooking pretty well. I think it's cooked off a little bit of the excess water. So I'm going to go ahead and add some wine. So what I'm going to do now is actually cover it and put it in the oven for about an hour. And that'll get everything really thick, and the flavors will concentrate, and it'll come out looking like beef stew. Ooh, I like. Looking pretty stewy. Now it's time to taste it. Ooh, that's good. Really beefy, really hearty. All the vegetables kind of cooked down, blended together, but that's some good stew.